Yeah, so for me, I wanted access to a molecule. It was an antisense molecule at the time, to test in an asthma model. And I was doing the mouse work, and so I approached the company, and they provided that. And we actually put in a joint grant to NCBC to do that work. And it was through that, and one of the conversations, they said, you know, we're having this conversation with one of the animal CROs, and we just can't seem to find anybody that we really trust to do this monkey model. Would you consider doing that? So it was a slow, you know, kind of trust-building exercise. And then from there, it really was going to being at meetings, people seeing what we were doing, and walking up and, you know, listening to what other companies were doing and saying, you know, I think we could test that for you. I think we could answer this question for you. And it just snowballed from there.
This is a great question about getting started. My story was that I kept seeing these patients with the same problem over and over. So I wrote a one-pager to whatever company I could find, which was the biggest one, and I sent them this note. I sent them this one-pager and said, I don't know how many patients have this problem, but I keep seeing it. And it wasn't known. But there's clearly something I'm seeing consistently. We sent them this one-pager, never heard back for a year, and then on a Thursday afternoon I got a call and they said, we've got your proposal. I didn't even remember hardly having sent it. And they said, can you be here? Can you be in Minneapolis on Monday? Which is like, I was in Florida at the time, so that's like Siberia. And they said, can you be here Monday? This was a Thursday. And give a talk to everyone in the company. I mean, it was some unbelievable situation. So I said, sure, I'll be there, because I was at that point like, you've been waiting for this a year, I'll be there. And sure enough, I go up there, and it was exactly as they said it would be. All these people are standing there saying, asking the question, do we have a problem? So it was an elementary type question relative to the things we're doing now, but it started with, maybe you have a problem and maybe you'd want to solve it, and maybe I'd be the person to help you solve it, and started from there. And it was a very slow process until it got started, and then it's been very fast. And we've had a relationship now for about 20 years with most of the major companies that make pacemakers and defibrillators as a result, because they go to meetings and see this one work and they say, oh, that's the same problem we're having with a similar device. And so industry can see the generalization of the solution faster than even I could, because there were other disease states that I hadn't even thought of, that they said that's the same problem we have over here with a deep brain stimulator or devices for other kinds of diseases. But I think it often starts with just a connection to somebody with a shared desire to solve a problem.
I'd build on Sam's point and go back to his point of humble and hungry. For our office, it usually starts with a very simple conversation. You know, we are the university, but we're not here to help. Taking that stance, whether it's with a community partner, or a military industry partner, and just venturing out and saying, you know, we'd just love to know what your needs are. Just trying to extract that information in an organized way. It certainly means you got to be prepared from a customer service standpoint to put your foot forward first, to pay it forward with some investment that you can afford, that you might not get compensated for it. But I'll give two quick examples. Wayne Godwin has worked a lot with our gaming industry partners here in the state, and we went out and said, look, you know, we'd love to play with you. That's what it comes down to. What do you need? And how do we get through this cycle of what do you need, what do you got? And it was amazing what we heard. One of their first responses was, you know, we need this type of infrastructure in the state because we're sending a lot of business to California, and we'd rather keep that economic activity here. Well, what if we bought that equipment? Would you come and hire us to use it? Absolutely. Similar point came from a workforce perspective. You know what? We want to hire creative talent. We're tired of hiring non-North Carolina kids. We hire kids from LA, we hire them from Boston, they come with an attitude. A year later we fire them, you know, lo and behold, you're not too good to work in North Carolina. Or, yeah, you are now, bye. So we get a lot of that from a workforce perspective. Jim Menke's work with our military partners is another example. You get a call and they say, you know, we know you have a laboratory for simulated blast injury. We have some people complaining from a workforce occupational safety perspective that when they're down on the firing range all day, they don't feel good. So, you know, investing 2 or 3 days to take your equipment down and strap them on some Marines as they shoot off anti-tank bazookas is time well spent. So I think if you're hungry and humble and you go out and you just let people know, I'm not here with the answers, but I'd sure love to collaborate with you on developing answers to problems you have, you will be amazed at the people that will flock to you to talk about how that could happen.
And you have to be a good listener.
You do.
You've got to really listen for what they're asking for and not try to shoehorn what you want into the conversation. You really need to listen to what they need.
Well, in all
respond to
honesty,
it.
don't go wanting anything.
Yeah?
I mean, the easiest way to do what Mike said is do not go wanting anything other than to truly in your heart hear what their challenges are.